Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. Wherever you're joining us from, we're happy that you folks take the opportunity as we come on to share the live, folks, and smash that emoji button. Smash, 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 smash that emoji button. We're so happy to have all of you all with us, folks. Share that live, share, share, share. Smash that emoji. But we can talk a couple of things for about 30, 35 minutes and then be out of your hairs so that you guys can go ahead and have a fantastic, fantastic rest of the evening. Tag a person, tag a page, share it back to your page, share it to a group, folks, that others, only that others might have the valid and credible information as well. And so good to see you folks on with us again after this morning's broadcast. So good to have all of you here with us. Share that live, folks. We're trying to put through the broadcast to some other pages and places and platforms. Good to see you guys nonetheless already here with us. Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Do let us know that if you're hearing us loud and clear, good folks. And we have just gone through to a couple other places. Let's see who we have on with us tonight. We got Kathleen and Cheryland. We got Siobhan and Vashti. Maxine still is here with us. And Janet Etwa here with us too. Good to see you there. And good to have you. We hope that you guys have had a good day. Share the live for us. We see over 300 of you, a minute and a half in, have already joined us. Smash that emoji button. Let us know how you're all feeling tonight, good folks. Please and thank you. We hope you're happy tonight and you're not sad. Please and thank you. Your spirit lift it up. Folks, we got a ways to go this evening. Edward Brooms is here and Ashton and Dexter Charles. I see Irvin Don Cook. Estelle Griffith is here too. Carol, Estelle, how are you doing? Good to have you on the live. And Carol Jacobs as well, and Renelle and Fred and Maureen. Good to have all of you. Folks, we're firing up tonight. And we are ready to go. And we hope that you guys are as well. You guys are ready. Fired up. Roger Bouye. Hope I get it right. Hope I get it right. Urban Don, Edward, Ingrid King, German Griffith, John. Good to have John on the live with us this evening. Sheena Hazel is here too. Y'all don't come wrong, Sheena. Funny. Please and thank you. How are you folks doing? Hope you guys are fired up and ready to go. You know, this morning, or during the course of the day, during the course of the day, I saw Mark Benchcup making the point that he found a little caricature in this. It was a little disrespectful to Magistrate Leron Daly, who's presided over these election fraud, quote-unquote, fraud cases. We know it's trumped-up charges. We know it's bogus charges, and that these cases aren't going any place. We know that, but we saw that. We saw that. And one of the things we told our audience this morning, some of you folks who are right here with us, is that all of this is a set piece. You know, all of it is a set piece. Nigel Hughes and team, they were behind these guys to get these cases started. Start the work. But then, you know, Irfan them weren't ready. Jagger them weren't ready. Anil wasn't ready. Neither was King's Counsel, Darshan Ramdani. But quite recently, we heard the AG trying to cast aspersions on the magistracy. Cast aspersions at the feet of Magistrate Leron Daly, forgetting that they were the ones who massively delayed the start in this case. So we want to show you both tonight as we come on. The opener, folks, we want to show you both. What Anil said, and then what Nigel Hughes said in October of last year, on the same note of, let's just get on with the cases. Take a look, folks. Take a listen. The opener.
You have several clients you're representing here in this electoral fraud matter. Where are we today, almost 3 years after this matter has been brought before the court?
Thank you, Shed. What I can say today is that we've made absolutely no progress. We are in exactly the same position we were on the last occasion we came to court. Nothing has been done today. The prosecution, we're not in a position to proceed. They're asking the magistrate to write to the chancellor, which she can't do. They asked her to hear all the matters together, which physically is not possible. And she made that clear to them. And we indicated to them that this is a complete waste of time. No progress is made today. None.
Mr. Hughes, you understand this system acutely more than the average lawyer. What do you really think is happening here?
I don't know that I agree with you that I understand the system more than the average lawyer. I'm not sure that that's accurate. But be that as it may, I think what is clearly happening here is the prosecution are in a state of some considerable disarray, because actually what we did in the court is we suggested to Mr. Ramdani that what he should do is pick his strongest case, present that case for whichever defendant, and we go ahead and deal with it. If he doesn't, is not successful in that, present the other. But the idea of having all these cases heard together really is not feasible. I don't know what objective he has in mind. And it really is a complete waste of the court's resources and the administration of justice. Pick your best case. If you don't win, you have another one to go ahead. But he's trying to have all these cases heard together. These people have been sitting here for 3 years. You remember when this allegation broke? Mr. Mingo was the worst thing possible. Mr. Mingo's been sitting down quietly for 3 years and he can't get a case started against him. They can't call the first witness. This is unacceptable. We are, of course, considering whether the rights protected under 144 of the Constitution, which says the right to a fair trial within a reasonable time, whether we are now at that stage. The Chief Magistrate didn't think so before, but we can't continue with no end in sight.
Mr. Hughes, do you get a sense politically, this is perhaps aimed at dragging this to the next election? You don't have evidence. There's nothing to prosecute here, but just the political fodder, dragging it to 2025 or earlier?
Well, I think but I don't think it takes a lot of imagination. This will be dragged to the next election. If they want to go ahead hearing all these cases, there's no way this is going to be heard in under 2 years, even, with the best will in the world. So this is going to go to 2025 without a doubt. I mean, if you have this number of cases and you have whatever it is, 80 witnesses you want to call, 100 and I don't know how many statements, there's no way that's getting done in under 2 years. My personal view is that you're looking at a 3-year trial, assuming that you have a court that's dedicated to hearing most of these offenses.
And Mr. Hughes, finally, if we were calling on our better angels, again, we see in the US, for instance, there was an aim to overthrow the will of the people by none other than US President Donald Trump. That is winding its way through the court system, but several others have been charged and sentenced hefty sentences. This matter started earlier, was in the public domain earlier, and yet to date, you can't even get a conviction if you can't even get the matter heard. What is your general sense of, if we're talking about accountability and good governance and all of that, matters just dragging through the police system, especially matters of public importance and public interest like this one?
Two things there, Sharon. You asked me about heavenly angels. I don't have any experience with them, so I can't comment to you on that. But you're also asking me to make a comment on the political motives behind these charges. I think it's probably
the learned magistrate who is assigned to do this matter took a few days sick leave and then took over a month more sick leave, and today was fixed by the learned magistrate for a report to take place in relation to how the case will proceed. Today, I am informed that another message was sent to the lawyers that the learned magistrate is still on leave and the matter is now adjourned to the 31st of October. So we have another 45 days of delay. I have spoken repeatedly about this matter over the years. I have been criticized for the comments that I have made in relation to this matter. And my comments have been consistent. My comments relate to what I consider to be an orchestrated attempt to delay these matters. It first started with Defense Counsel.
Yep. Our apologies initially, folks. We were telling you, we know we lost some of the audio. We are telling you that it was Nigel Yu's last audio who was speaking to this matter of these cases being delayed and that his clients were waiting for over 3 years. And now you have the sanctimonious gangsters, the real sanctimonious gangsters, the hypocrites, come out now saying that somehow it is the defense, it is the magistrate who is delaying these matters. Quite strange. So that's where we're starting tonight, folks. And as we're there and talking about the hypocrisy of this regime, Melissa Atwell and her family, they are mulling legal actions over the incursion on their property a couple of days ago, day before yesterday, was it? They are mulling legal actions saying that their constitutional rights were not respected by the Guyana Defense Force, by the PPP, who infringed on it when they entered their home. That is part of what we're learning this evening. And, I saw a battery of lawyers have come to their defense with this matter. Roysdale Ford, Nigel Hughes, Joe Harmon is part of the battery of lawyers. UC Anderson, Dexter Todd, Narissa Leander, Ayana Butts, and of course, Darren Wade, always at the forefront of these issues, leading this charge, saying that, as I said, Melissa Atwell, Melly Mel, Debbie Tyson, her mom, and Miss Josephine Tyson are mulling legal actions, and they have forwarded to the Guyana Police Force their thoughts on this whole matter. As I said, that there was an unlawful search and trespass at their house on the East Bank. So we're watching it, folks. That's one of the things we're tracking this evening. That's one of the things we're looking at. Folks, y'all better be careful out there. You better be careful. Don't take your eyes off of these folks. They want, as I said earlier on, these matters in the court and want to silence the critics. That's why you see what's happening here with Melissa Atwell. You know, her and I being sued by Indar. Till they're like, no, I have not been served with any papers. So much for that. That's another story. They want to silence your political opponents. That is why you're seeing what you're seeing here. So that is number one. And they want this further for the political campaign for 2025 with the fraud cases. And then we hear a COI is being launched today. That's another story. But before we get there, why is it that some schools have been deserted in terms of repairs? And we spoke about some of this in the past. We were at Linden and showed you one school the week before school opened after 2 months is now there initializing some repairs there. Why is it that some of our schools in this country seemingly abandoned, ignored by the Ministry of Education as regards their infrastructure? Take a look at some of what the General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union said quite recently on this very matter. Why are there, is some getting through and some are getting through? Friends, family, and favorites. Take a look. Take a listen, good folks.
General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, Coretta MacDonald, has accused Education Minister Priya Manikchan of refusing to visit schools in South Georgetown.
She's always in the North Georgetown or in East Georgetown. She would go, QC tired seeing her. She going so. Well, she got St. George's to go to. But you don't see her going anywhere else to visit other schools.
She said there are about a dozen secondary schools in South Georgetown that aren't visited by the Education Minister.
Maybe the people there are not the standard for her, so she can't come to visit the students in those schools. We got so many primary schools in South Georgetown. You don't see Priya coming there. You don't see Priya's officers and so on visiting those schools on the first day of school or on the first week of school. You're not seeing them.
The reality is that 23 schools couldn't have been reopened on the first day of school. The system had 2 months to get these schools in order. Some of the remedial works began about 3 weeks before schools reopened, she said. She said that this was a case of a few favorite contractors being awarded 2 and 3 schools.
They work a little bit here, then they jump to this other one, and then they jump to this one, and then they jump to this one, and then the cycle goes around again. They reverse and they go slow. They come here, so they can't finish the schools on time.
There were videos of the unfinished schools.
This one that you're seeing here is West Rumville Primary School. This, you see the fence there? Look what the contractors do. Look, they tie it up. Look, you see there? West Rumville Primary School, and that's the front of the school. But let me tell you what, many of these schools, they got a facelift. And let me tell you where they get the lift, only to the front of the school.
The aim is to make the building appear presentable, she said. There were the garbage piles, damaged roof, broken walls and tabletops in the departments.
Toilets not working. They don't have water to flush toilets. But sometimes I get vexed with these teachers. I know y'all saying Mark sell y'all out. Is that, I didn't say it, the people saying it, Mark sell y'all out, so you feel that you don't have representation, so you can't make too much noise. But teachers, I want to say to you, y'all gotta get out when you don't have water to flush the toilets. Go home, dismiss the schools. Truth be told.
The horrible conditions continue at some schools today.
Yeah. We go. I know. Don't take that. You're sitting to school. The toilet is working. Right. You can sit on the mango tree every day and teach kids. I could understand once in a while you go for a little fresh air under the tree and so on. But that can't be. That can't be every day, folks. We're so grateful. 17 minutes in, 1,700 of you have joined us recently. 1,743 to be precise. So many of you joined us this evening. That can't be every day. You're on the tree teaching people kids. Right? That can't be every day. Yes, nice natural AC and so on. But heat, what is he doing with you all? Those of you who are in Georgetown, Guyana, specifically, they've told us September to November. Extraordinary the heat. You got to be inside now. Nice to be outside, but you got to be inside. The heat too much. So some schools are being favored over others. Wendy Boville and Michaela, Horace Thomas, Afua Armstrong, Nicola, somewhat we're seeing out there. And then across the pond, police turning a lot of blind eye to corruption. That's another issue we're seeing, a blind eye to corruption. But we come along that part. You can't get the police to do the things the police supposed to be doing. No, but to harass a young businessman in tuition, they're good for that. To harass a young businessman in tuition, they're good for that, folks. They're good for that. Mr. Hickins, you got to pull up your socks sooner or later. Listen to some of what we heard recently on that note about the police turning a blind eye, the silent, and the corruption in police force.
The investigation into senior corrupt police officers is going nowhere. In fact, according to the Alliance for Change, the Special Organized Crime Unit identified to conduct the probe is either reluctant to or toothless.
But when you got top-class policemen like them doing the thing, who's going to investigate them? We have asked for an independent, international, reputable body to come down like the Scotland Yard. And I understand the British High Commissioner was willing to send the Scotland Yard people in Guyana.
Cameron Ramjetan, co-founder of the Alliance for Change, said that the government doesn't want such an investigation. SOCO is a part of the Guyana police force.
Now, when you going to get cats for watched milk, I don't understand. It is a serious, serious problem. And when we tell the minister and the government, please bring in an international, independent, reputable body to investigate this matter, they say, nah, SOCO going to deal with it. Well, what's SOCO going to up to now? They can't even come out and say what is the state of affairs of the investigation.
He's adamant that there will be one big cover-up. The AFC noted the apparent non-involvement of the Guyana Revenue Authority.
The GRA now can go and the proceeds of crime can also be seized by the state. The GRA or could deal with that, or the relevant body, the same anti-corruption squad unit that they have, and so on. But the important thing is that at this stage, we need, as members of the public, to know what is the fact of this, or what are the facts of this matter.
He said that the government professes to be serious about crime.
But there it is, a government of the day who pronounces on matters, saying how great, how serious they are about anti-corruption, and they're going to catch all the corrupt people and put them and lock them up and so on. They haven't said one thing when it comes to their people who are at high places and big in the bureaucracy, like what's happening at the management, the GMC.
He spoke about the expenditure at Albion Estate.
One set of money spent at Albion Estate where they burned down that electrical, the room, the generator room. They tell me They tell me $64 million it can cost. It ended up at $664 million that room cost. Where all the money gone?
Folks, the money disappear. That's where the money gone. Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. The money disappear. Camera, you want to know is where the money gone. Folks, enter the truth tellers. The truth tellers. Them boys. The truth tellers. Oh, yes. I heard that Irfan Ali has hinted at, if he hasn't launched as yet, a commission inquiries into the troubles. As former President David Granger coined the phrase, the troubles, it's from 2000 coming down. This is the second term of Jagdeo presidency. Every day, drive-by shooting, every day businessmen in this country were being killed. You all remember Roger Khan had a whole ad in Kaiser News saying that he was hired as part of the, what do you call it? Paramilitary, or the, what is the police? Huh? The state police apparatus to fight crime. You all remember those days? When Saturday Shaw and his family were massacred? You remember them times? Still today, like today. The PPP haven't had a COI into how one of their ministers was assassinated. But they're bringing another COI like the election one. Could you imagine an election COI? Election COI, where the chairman of GCOM made some startling, damning allegations about her own conduct. And there isn't a word about her in the COI report. But these same people now come with another COI as we enter into an election year. Because Jagdeo tired carrying around the baggage of his own presidency. Right? He wants a clean slate now, so that he could try to get what do you call it? Nobel Prize for peace or politics or what have you. That's what they're aiming at. So they're aiming at a commission of inquiries. He said today in his press conference, a lot of lies have been told about his presidency. And these truth tellers, they want the truth to come out. Yeah. They want the truth to come out. When Vashni started talking the truth, he didn't like it, and he tried to muzzle she. They say he tried to muzzle Melly. They say they're trying to muzzle Magistrate Leron Daly. But it's not going to happen. These are the people who said they want the COI. They put together the terms of reference, right? For the COI, they can look at their own presidency, their own term in office. Yes, these should tell us. We high up on the lie and the corruption index. But these folks want to put together another COI. Father, have his mercies on all of us. Please and thank you. Have your mercy on all of us. Pull it back for us one time. Look, a couple of other things we're following before we let you guys go. Before we let you go, the Turkish ship want more. Last night we told you they were part of the bidding to supply more power to our country. We got a figure tonight. The big numbers are $116 million US. That contract is going to start. is going to cost, rather. And we made the point last evening, these folks can barely supply power in the existing contract that they have without the birds eating out the wire. Eva Mattis and Chinsing Henry, Jamal Aziz, the Jambi bird eating out the wire, they can barely supply that contract. And this is the corruption happening, you know. They want to bid for another one now, 116 million US dollars. You know, they try to, the 2025 campaign ain't gonna pay for itself, folks. It is not going to pay for itself. So we're watching this. We are watching it, good folks. We are watching it. That's one of the things we're looking at. Big contract. The Turkish ship, the power ship. And of course, we talked about this COI into the 2000 killings that the truth tellers want to start. And by the same token, we told you already that in this press conference today with Mr. Jack Deo, they're saying that, what is it? That they, what? You know, it's always a set of foolishness. They're not politically prosecuting anyone. Go figure with that. They're not politically victimizing anyone. That's what he said. Right? Well, you know, Anuk Kian Jabor wailing to them with that. You can't be running in people's houses without any search warrant. And this is the government of law and order, you know. These are the people who are setting up the terms of the Commission of Inquiry. And they can't even follow their own, the laws are on the books. But you must trust them. No search warrant, nothing at all. Find some 27 grams of marijuana in some back alley someplace. But somehow the Atwells are supposed to be responsible for that. It's madness. It's madness. He said they're not politically harassing nobody. So that's one of the things we're looking at. And of course, I told you that that Melissa Atwell, her grandmother, mother, they're mulling over their options, suing these folks. You can't just do that to people. You know, so they're looking at that, folks. And this very, very sad issue we're seeing here, want to draw that to your attention as well. What's happening to this gentleman in Tushan, close by Irfan? You know, some of this stuff is almost criminal, folks. It's almost criminal, right? But before I get there, the other matter I wanted to touch on this evening is them appealing what the judge says by the end of the month, they must have a figure for the people at Peters Hall where they're landing the new bridge. They want to bully these people out of land. The same way they want to bully Melly Mel. Right? The same way they want to bully Magistrate Leron Daly, her worship. Bully those people out of property, but they don't want to compensate them. And that's what the court said recently. You got to compensate the people fairly for the property. Listen to the story. They want an extension on the time they have to pay the people. You ever see a story like this? These people that can pull money out of a hat for trying to buy out young people. Afro guy needs to wear a t-shirt and go to a meeting for them in Bobis. You got money for that. But to pay the people for the legal property, you asking them to hold on and take and go into court further for an extension on the time they have. Listen to me. Once they move those people and they have possession for that property, right? They can drag out that payment. They can drag that payment out, those payments out for the rest of the natural lives of those people because the wicked stink and dirty. And we're calling it early. Could you imagine that? They want the land, but they don't want to pay. Half of the things you see happening out here never make the budget. A road here, cash grant there, big projects going on over. So never made the 2024 budget, but they're finding money. But to pay the people for the land that they want to delay that. This is wickedness in high and low, in medium height places. It's wickedness all over. And then we come now to Tushan. Father, have his mercies on us. Father, have his mercies on... What's happening in this country? So you can't own a little chicken and chips business. Huh? You can't own a little car wash. Huh? What's happening in this place? It's one set of people all the time. If you're an ardent viewer of this program, you all know Jamal. We don't like to talk about racism. All of us should be living as one in this country, but that's the ideal. And that's not our lived experience. People see you on a little 2x4, they're coming to fight you out of that. And we know some names, we've seen some faces.
An African Guyanese young man, Joel Dotson of Tushen scheme, is facing persecution by his neighbors who are aligned to the PPP, the EPA, and loads of other relevant organizations are visiting his home trying to shut his business down. And the neighbors, they are giving that young African Guyanese man a fight. He had to close down his fish shop. He opened a wash bay and they want to close it down. He has 3 children. He's a father. It seems as though African Guyanese men and African Guyanese in general cannot live and survive in Guyana without the interference of the PPP regime.
No citizen, regardless of their race or economic status, is superior to any other citizen. He needs political representation and legal representation. That is something that has been absent in this struggle. I've spoken to the member of parliament for the opposition in that area. He has also spoken to Mr. Dobson, and I know that he's planned to visit the family. Second, like I said, I've connected him with an attorney, and hopefully he can begin some sort of legal process to ensure the harassment stops. Outside of that, generally speaking, in this struggle, we need a civil rights organization in Guyana, something like CGID or Civil Rights Union, the ACLU kind of organization, to be an umbrella organization that would represent people's rights. African Guyanese in Guyana are treated as though they have no rights. And so to ensure that people's rights are preserved, people's rights are respected, we need a formal civil rights organization like the Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, that kind of thing. We need to, somehow, I don't think it has dawned on Guyanese what is happening. We live in societies where the rights of minorities are not respected. And so there had to be all sorts of laws that were enacted, organizations that were formed to represent people's rights, whether legally or politically. That's what we need in Guyana.
Good folks, apologies there. That's some of you hearing that this young man, Joel Dotson, believes that he is being targeted because of race and ethnicity. His black-owned wash bay in that area. And this attack on him is racially motivated. And of course, you heard Rick Furtick asking there for an investigation into this. Now, this is thing you gotta look. We gotta fix these problems. We can't kick them down the road. We can't pretend that they don't exist because they do. Unfortunately, this is the kind of country we live in. Some people sick. They got some weird, outdated ideas. We got to stand toe to toe with each other. And if you support the PNC, if you support the PPP, you support the AFC, you got to hold them accountable and hold them to a standard. Come on now, you can't see them doing foolishness and just leave it be. Especially if you are PPP, and some people got some weird ideas still. Depends on their socialization, how they were brought up. Jack Neal, them got plenty of it. In front of them, plenty some weird, outdated ideas that have no place in the 21st century. Period. Since we were listening to that program there with Norman Brown, Rickford, but we thought it was so appropriate because here is Norman Brown putting this whole matter of this young man's experience into context for us, and then Rickford are offering some solutions. We got to build out this thing, and if after 50 plus years we can't solve it ourselves, maybe we got to ask for some external help. And that's why when we hear that the PPP coming up with terms of reference, investigate itself, how weird that is. Bring in some international people, bring in an international organization to set the terms and to manage the COI independently. Maybe this is a COI we need to look into. Racial discrimination and so on, like what South Africa had. Truth and reconciliation for the truth tellers. Let's do something like if we going big, let's go big and finish. A lot of people got a lot of things to talk. Right in some workplaces right now, in the public sector, some people facing racial discrimination, right? But they put their head down and they try to ignore it because they got a mortgage, they got a car loan to pay at the end of the month, they got to rent, they got to feed the kids and so on. Right? But burying our heads in the sand for another 50 years ain't gonna do us no justice. Ain't gonna do us no justice at all. God damn it. You all can't see a piece of land. People can, all boats can float together. The rising tide can float all boats in this country. Why only some boats must float, man? Why only some boats must float? Huh? Why is that? God damn it. Why is that? Look pocketory now. Look pocketory now. You got some contracts happening, roads, building, and so on. PP flags. You're carrying this nonsense too far. And then they want to accuse the PNC of party parliamency. We saw in our lifetime the other Chung Conference Center where the PP flags adored. Did y'all remember that? We saw that when they had the conference there in our lifetime. No, in every little work site, they're building a road, a bridge, or something. You're seeing these flags popping up. I'm happy that folks like Malcolm, Harry, Paul drew this to our attention. You got to stop this nonsense. The state must start somewhere, and the party someplace else. Come on now. Right? Green is a color. You paint a building in green, the vex. But you want to go and put up your party flag every place. Huh? You want to go and put up your one communication every place. I mean, your one Guyana every place. Come on, folks. Catch yourself. Catch yourself and in a hurry. Even y'all tell them, Curtis and Latchman, pack a nut. Every place. Stop it now. Bring y'all back to y'all senses. Back to your senses. Look, some of the other things we follow real quick before we wrap up, folks. Before we let you all go, right? A contractor, widespread power outage, they tell us. I think this was in Bobis. Right? They said a contractor damaged the GPL network. An excavator, HIMAC, whatever you want to term it, around 3:30, right? Working on a dump site, right? Accidentally came into contact with the power cables. Lucky walk with the light. Why are people so careless and reckless? You driving a huge piece of equipment, you should be taking, what does the law call it? A greater, whatever it is, greater duty of care. That's the term I was looking for. You have a greater duty of care. Big, heavy machinery. You see some of them driving these big trucks as though it's a little, what's one of the smaller cars? A little Datsun or something. Some big hell of a truck trying to jostle you on the roadways. Right? But maybe it's just an excuse that GP are looking for. Right? To take some attention off of the power ship where the birds is now the wife. It's a massive power outage on the Demerara Burmese interconnected system. Every day is excuses from GPL. Don't put it past them for driving the crane into the thing themselves too. Right? Don't put it past them. So you got to happen. And as I said, they got money, right? They create the hard times. Create the hard times and then capitalize on it. You got the money. So in Bobby's a couple of days ago, they're giving out red t-shirts. And in the red t-shirt, you got a 5,000, a 7,000, but you got to attend the meeting. Right? That's wickedness. To kick a man when he's down. Right? Some of these young people even know it's with it. They ain't even know what it is. Right? But is it different between some food on the table tonight and in the morning than going hungry? They don't even know what they're doing. And I heard you all, boy, I didn't want to put the burden of listening to him on you all tonight. But all these thousands of young people who are supporting them, give us a break. Give us a break. They said the same thing in local government election. Right? They didn't plan for win Linden. How did it turn out? How did it turn out for you? Even Linden? Huh? The red wave even turns a drop. Give us a break. When last you all saw the new Demar Harbor Bridge and the kind of work that's happening there, they said 67.8%. Another big number. 67.8% of the bridge is finished. Y'all can try with that. 67.8. Try with that and deal with it in your own time. We're hastening to wrap up. Young boy, look story now. If we talk about sugar, right? What happened in the sugar industry, and we talked this morning about the shortage. Burying the head in the sand as the proverbial ostrich. Burying the heads in the sand. Oh, sugar is good. Sugar is so good. The last CEO for the sugar corporation, they kick out. He has recently given his credentials to King Felipe of Spain, unworthy to being the king's present, but tolerating him. Right? King Felipe of Belgium presented his credentials, letters of credence, accrediting him as an ambassador. Could you imagine? He's doing so good. The sugar industry is booming according to them, but they kick you out. Kick you out. We can talk some more about him just now. And after the people pour over the border, filling the quota of how they can pad the list in the 2025 election, look, them talking now about unveiling an automated border system. After they left the borders porous just enough, they left the borders porous just long enough to get the quotas that they need. Right? Heading into the election year, enter the automated border system, folks. Wicked, stinking, dirty. That's what you call it. Right? This is gonna start at the Chedijagan International Airport to pre-screen incoming passengers. How much cocaine it can stop from coming in and going out? Right? Enhancing the national security apparatus by flagging undesirable individuals before their arrival. It's burglary looking for. It's belly mel they're looking for. They want to when some of us going and coming. How they fast? How much cocaine is going to stop? We find yet who to ship the 10 tons to Belgium. We find yet who to hide the 4 tons in the holes in the ship there in PK. Have we figured that out as yet? No. They're coming with here automated border systems. Give us a break, folks. You know it's election year. When you see these boys talking, you just know. God damn it. And it's election year. When you see them talking, as I said, we were going to circle back to say the thunderbolt. Yep, single-handedly destroyed what is left, folks. What was left of the sugar industry. Sugar going down and down and down and down, less and less. Never mind we spending all the billions to support the large swath of the PPP's constituency. They can do what they got to do. We can have a say and they can have their way. They're going now to the fight. You heard in one of the pieces we presented earlier was $50 million to rectify a fire damage in one of the control centers at Albion, was it Rose Hall? And from 50 million, it moved to $600 million, folks. No questions asked, but I'm telling you, the 2025 election ain't gonna pay for itself. From 50 million, we take a lot of things in this country, We take a lot of things for granted. From $50 million, it has gone now to $600 million. And he gets sent now as an ambassador to Belgium, to the EU, a pack of nonsense. If you ever see mismanagement, if you ever see poor governance, this is it. So good night to all, except y'all boy. Except y'all boy. But before we go, folks, good night to all except him, y'all ambassador to Belgium, UK, UN, wherever he's at tonight. A good night to all except him. Except him. Do a pack of nonsense and now to put another square peg in a round hole, Mr. Young or whatever his name is. The other one. The other square peg in round hole. He gone there now to do what? I pointed out to you folks, the last time they came for supplementary the National Assembly, somebody guiding Hugh Zulfi on the answers to the sector, and he there way up in the bleachers, way up in the sitting area, the public sitting area in the National Assembly, falling to sleep because he ain't know nothing. He ain't know nothing. The guy gonna teach he now, sugar. But he proffer what he thinks should happen. What the final rights should be. These are the people wasting taxpayers' money, wasting we oil money in this place. Now you got for feed, housey, clothing, and so on. Transport he in Belgium or wherever he there. Good riddance to he, man. Good riddance. A good night to all except, as I said when we started, police turning a blind eye to corruption, the silent and corruption in the police force. Take a look, folks. The closer. Take a listen.
The investigation into senior corrupt police officers is going nowhere. In fact, according to the Alliance for Change, the Special Organized Crime Unit identified to conduct the probe is either reluctant to or toothless.
But when you got top-class policemen like them doing the thing, who gonna investigate them? We have asked for an independent, international, reputable body to come down like the Scotland Yard. And I understand the British High Commissioner was willing to send the Scotland Yard people in Guyana.
Cameron Ramjatan, co-founder of the Alliance for Change, said that the government doesn't want such an investigation. Soko is a part of the Guyana police force.
Now when you gonna get cats for watched milk, I don't understand. It is a serious problem. And when we tell the minister and the government, please bring in an international, independent, reputable body to investigate this matter, they say, nah, Soko gonna deal with it. Well, what's Soko gonna up to now? They can't even come out and say what is the state of affairs of the investigation.
He's adamant that there will be one big cover-up. The AFC noted the apparent non-involvement of the Guyana Revenue Authority.
The GRA now can go and the proceeds of crime can also be seized by the state. The GRA or could deal with that, or the relevant body, the same anti-corruption squad unit that they have, and so on. But the important thing is that at this stage, we need, as members of the public, to know what is the fact of this, or what are the facts of this matter.
He said that the government professes to be serious about crime.
But there it is, a government of the day who pronounces on matters, saying how great, how serious they are about anti-corruption, and they're going to catch all the corrupt people and put them and lock them up and so on. They haven't said one thing when it comes to their people who are at high places and big in the bureaucracy, like what's happening at the management, the GMC.
He spoke about the expenditure at Albion Estate.
One set of money spent at Albion Estate where they burned down that electrical, the room, the generator room. They tell me they tell me $64 million it can cost. It ended up with $664 million that room cost. Where all the money gone?
Yep, where all the money gone indeed. That's going to do it for us this evening, folks. Thank you for joining. Money gone. Where all the money gone? That's a good question. Yeah. Buying the next election. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. Pull it back. Pull it back for us. Thanks for joining us, Gail Alicock and Carlos and Deborah Clark. Donna Daly, let we go. We see you there, Marilyn Thomas, Christopher Chichester, Wonder Fraser, we see you there as well, and Brian, Jamal, Penelope Hudson. We see each and every one of you folks. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. That's our time for this evening, folks. And that's our program. Stay safe, folks. Stay safe. See you in the next one. Stay safe.